Pete Duel passed away in 1971, more than 50 years ago. His acting career was abruptly cut short by his untimely death, which left a lasting impression on everyone who knew him. However, even now, almost 50 years after that tragic event, Pete's mysterious life and enduring influence continue to captivate the public's imagination as a man of extraordinary talent and deep emotions. He stood out for his grace and intelligence, particularly his unwavering love for what he did. He was born as Peter Elstrom on February 24, 1940, in Rochester. He was brought into the world by New York in the Duel family's embrace. In a family of 3 that his parents loved, Pete was the oldest of the surviving siblings. In the midst of this tapestry of life, a brief moment of sorrow arrived when Jennifer, a baby girl, entered and left the world in a single day on September 12, 1952, in the quiet town of Penfield, nestled outside Rochester. Pete's father, Dr. Ellsworth Shaw Bob Duel, practiced medicine, and his healing touch resided within the family. Helen, who was of Swedish-American descent, and Lillian Marcella Duel, Lil, from Aluna, Pennsylvania, held the family's heart close. With the help of Lillian, a nurse, who shared her knowledge, a abode called A Legacy paved for Pete, inviting him to embrace the path walked by generations past. However, destiny's allure led him in a different direction, and he set out on a different journey. An ancestral thread of medical vocation ran through the Duel lineage, connecting father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and 2 kin as well, all Phasons. During his adolescent years, a deep-seated dream, the desire to soar as a pilot, brewed within Peter Duel. He was determined to join the United States Air Force as soon as he reached the eligible age. His educational path led him to Penfield High School, where he graduated in 1957. The turning point came at the age of 17 when he went to the Air Force recruitment office, motivated by his ambition to train as a pilot. However, he was denied admittance due to 20/30 vision, a hurdle he overcame by wearing reading glasses. By the fall of 1957, the empty halls of St. Lawrence University in Canton were adorned with a fixture he wore when not performing. Pete was drawn to New York, where he pursued liberal arts. The cold month of December brought him back to his Penfield roots, where a much-needed respite was anticipated. A fateful night approached the conclusion of the vacation, and he found himself in a swirling snowstorm. Pete set out on a voyage with a partner. Due to an unexpected turn, destiny collided head-on with the passenger side windshield. Pete suffered terrible head injuries, facial cuts, and an almost severed tongue when he was ejected. He spent a month in a hospital room recovering from his injuries, and then he spent time on crutches in the nurturing as the academic chapters at St. Lawrence University progressed. The of the stage called out to Pete College's theatrical productions, which included a notable performance of the main part in Tennessee. With the help of his encouraging parents, William's rose tattoo revealed his acting prowess, and the impact of the performance was evident. When Pete's voice reverberated through the hallways of TV photo stories in 1966, Dr. Duel, seeing the potential, supported his son's journey to New York City, a haven for aspiring actors. His words were, "I am enamored with the art of acting. For me, it's a serious profession, devoid of frivolity. Glamour takes a back seat to dedication. The show's essence is paramount," which he expressed with unwavering conviction in 1960, after moving to the busy streets of New York City. Pete found a modest life in the YMCA, where he worked hard to earn money by cleaning the restrooms and hallways. His perseverance eventually earned him a spot in the American Theater Wing's prestigious 2-year program, which he completed by 1962. There, he immersed himself in the complexities of stagecraft, embracing Shakespearean drama, speech refinement, elocution, dance, and even the arts of fencing. He also participated in summer thespian engagements and made an appearance off-Broadway in Elektra at the Green Witch. His tour was interspersed with Village Players Theater. In the summer of 1963, Pete's involvement with the National Road Company's performance of the Broadway comedy Take Her She's Mine prompted him to traverse the continent to West Hollywood, California, where the spotlight drew him onto the prestigious CBS, the Armstrong Circle Theater. The Silver He made his screen debut as Josh Drake on the college drama series Channing, which paved the way for a string of cameos on classic series including Combat Gemmer Pile, the USMC. The first television hit for The Fugitive and 1200 High Pete was the brief series Gigot, in which Sally Field co-starred with Pete as John Cooper's loving but dim-witted psychologist. The charm of student brother-in-law Pete was evident in 23 of the 32 episodes of the show from 1965 to 1966. The show's demise was predicted by low ratings, but Pete's journey and Judy Kaye's love on a rooftop collaboration lasted throughout all 30 episodes of its one season from 1966 to 1967. In July 1967, fate brought Pete to Universal Studios, securing his place in the entertainment industry. 2 TV movies, How to Steal an Aircraft and The Scarecrow, demonstrated his versatility. Although his most famous role was hinted at by Pete's Western prowess in Virginia episodes, he was in the spotlight in 1971 as the outlaw. In the light-hearted Western Alias Smith and Jones, which he co-starred in with co-star Joshua Smith, Hannibal Hayes embodies the spirit of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Ben Murphy's portrayal of Jed Kid Curry focused on the idea that the two would be granted amnesty if they stayed out of trouble with the authorities for a year and concealed their true identities under the aliases of Smith and Jones on a particular day. October 24, 1970, a serious car accident involving Pete Duel occurred in Hollywood streets, injuring 2 people. Pete was arrested after being suspected of drunk driving and hit and run, but the accusation of hit and run was ultimately dropped as June 21, 1971, approached. In front of the Santa Monica Superior Court, Pete acknowledged his guilt of driving under the influence and causing an accident. The verdict resulted in a $1,000 fine and a jail sentence. The latter waved a suspended driver's license over his head, but the bars avoided him. He made a commitment to abstain from drinking, which he struggled to keep, but Pete's fight with alcoholism continued in spite of his efforts, coupled with the burden of his duties and his part in Alias Smith and Jones, which culminated in his breakdown from exhaustion on the set in August 1971. Despite being sent home, he returned the following day. Later in November, he received a telegram of disappointment. Since the Act Guild's board of directors had not yet been reached, the telegram was placed on his wall as a poignant reminder of the perceived shortcomings of the painted surface. Pete, a charming actor who starred in the popular television series, was connected to a young woman named Diane Ray. Their paths crossed while she was working as a production assistant for the Doctor. But underneath this facade, Pete fought his drinking addiction and emotional problems. Before December 31, 1971, on that devoted daybreak, the Hollywood Hills hid a heartbreaking secret. His autopsy would later reveal that he had consumed a lot of alcohol. Although the cause of Pete Duel's death from a gunshot wound to his head was unknown, Detective Sergeant Paul Estrada's remarks about the closeness of the gun muzzle to his ear suggested intimate proximity and raised doubts about someone else's involvement. Pete was only 31 years old when he passed away, and those close to him revealed his suffering from alcoholism. Additional findings revealed a second bullet in his house, which was about a week old. The gun that killed him had also punctuated the framed telegram, which he treasured as a physical reminder of his unmet dreams in the Screen Actors Guild. Rest in peace, Peter, and goodbye.